Hello friends, today we will be giving you some useful psychological tips and tricks which might be helpful for you to reduce your appetite. The high amount of appetite and hunger cravings is the biggest problem which people have while doing fasting or dieting, and most of the people are not able to control their hunger. That is why they tend to overeat. So these useful psychological tips and tricks might be handy in preventing you from overeating. Before we dive into the video, we will request you to watch our videos regularly, to subscribe to our channel, to comment on our channel videos, and if possible to share our videos as well. The most important psychological tip which is usually advised when you are doing intermittent fasting or any form of dieting is to do mindful eating, which means that you should see and watch whatever food you are taking. You should chew your food slowly. You should try to enjoy your food and focus on the food and focus on the experience of having food. This will give you a higher sense of satisfaction and fullness and prevent you from overeating. Most of the times, if the people are trying to eat whatever they want and are trying to mindlessly eat their food, then there are high chances that they will eat too much amount of food and they will be overeating. So you should try to enjoy your food, chew your food slowly, keep the flavors and everything in your mind, and listen to your body whenever there is any sign that your body is giving you a soft signal that you are satisfied and you need not take any further food. This soft signal should be sought about, and whenever there is a signal from the body that you are not feeling hungry any longer, then you should stop eating. So mindful eating is the most important strategy which you should keep in mind while doing intermittent fasting. Then you should use smaller plates. Usually taking a smaller plate gives you mental satisfaction that you have had adequate amount of food, and even if you are filling your plate once or twice also, then also the chances of overeating will be much lesser as compared to the fact that whenever you are taking a larger plate, the chances of overeating are much higher. This is also applicable whenever you are having food at home also, and whenever you are having food at a buffet dinner or at a party also, because if at all you are taking a larger plate, the chances of overeating and chances of you having more amount of food cravings is much more, while if at all you are taking a smaller plate, the chances will be lesser. Thirdly, you should hydrate your body sufficiently. You should take too much amount of water. You should take water. You can take green tea, black coffee, or you can also take bone broth. All these food items will give you too much amount of water, and also to a certain extent they will help you satisfy your hunger and you will no longer feel the need to eat so much. So while having your food and before and after having your food, you should take excess amount of water. This will help you in satisfying your hunger, and this will be a psychological trick to fool your mind that you have taken good amount of food, because whenever water goes into the stomach wall gets stretched and the brain gets the message that you have taken something inside the stomach, and therefore the hunger should be satisfied and the hunger signals and the hunger hormones are comparatively reduced. So in this way you can reduce your eating by drinking too much amount of water. Then you should eat proteins and fibers. Protein and fibers that usually take longer time for the body to digest, so your abdomen will be full for a prolonged period of time, and the desire to eat too much amount of food will be much lesser if you are taking proteins and fibers as compared carbohydrates and simple sugars and breads and white pasta and things like that. These foodstuffs are digested by the body very rapidly, and if at all you take these foodstuffs, there are much higher chances that you will feel hungry very soon and you will have a desire to eat more and more food. That is why you should eat foodstuff containing more amount of proteins and more. Then you should do some mind tricks. You visualize yourself that you have taken a satisfying meal, or you can visualize or imagine yourself that you are feeling full even before eating. This is a mental exercise, although not possible for all of the patients, but this will help in certain number of patients feeling more full, and the hunger cravings will significantly reduce, because in this way you trick your mind into believing that you have taken good amount of food and you do not want to eat any further. Then you should avoid any distractions while taking food. If at all you are watching TV, watching the mobile, or scrolling through the mobile reels or something like that, or you are talking to your relatives, there are much higher chances that you will be taking much more amount of food. So if at all you are taking food, you should try to avoid any distractions, because having distractions while focusing on your food increase the chance of you overeating. You should focus on your food, and this will give you more of hunger and satisfying cues, and you will be able to feel that you are more satisfied early on, and the chance of overeating will be much lesser. Then you should plan your portion and plan your food accordingly, because if at all you have an unplanned meal, there are much higher chances that you will overeat. You should decide what food you will be taking tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow evening beforehand. If at all you are choosing foods on an ad hoc basis, there are much higher chances that you will overeat. You should practice portion control. For example, you can divide your meal into 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of dal, 1 cup of lentils, 1 cup of vegetables, and the like vegetables and stuff can be divided into cups. If at all you do this trick, there are high chances that you will feel satisfied even after taking 1 to 2 cups, and your chances of refilling the cups more and more times will be much lesser. As compared, if you are taking the entire food in one big bowl and you are not calculating the amount of portion which you have taken for a given foodstuff, the chances of you overeating will be much higher in this case. Then you should try to distract yourself from hunger. Whenever you are feeling hungry, you should try to distract yourself. You should go for a walk, you should practice talking, you should talk to a relative, you should watch TV or something like that, and try to distract yourself from having more and more food. Because most often what happens that the hunger signals usually last for a short period of time. The half-life of the hunger hormone is usually only 30 minutes. So whenever you are feeling hungry, if at all you distract your mind for 30 to 40 minutes, there are high chances that you will stop feeling hungry and the urge to have food will be significantly reduced after 30 minutes. So your food craving will be much lesser. So whenever you feel hungry, try to distract your mind, involve yourself in doing some particular activity, and therefore your desire to have food will be much lesser. Then there is something known as the boring food strategy, in which you purposefully make your food boring. You do not decorate your food, you do not add too much amount of spices and flavors to your food, and you selectively choose food items which you do not enjoy too much about eating. You tend to separate out the food items which you enjoy too much and take more food items which you do not enjoy, and therefore the desire to eat too much amount of food will be reduced and your chances of overeating will be much lesser. Although this is not practically possible on all days of the week, but you can choose your days where you do not take your best food items, and you can choose from food items which you are less fond of. These food items will not induce too much amount of craving and will be much healthier also in most of the cases, because most of the cravings are produced by food items which are more unhealthy, more oily, more junk food. So you choose from the less attractive and more healthy items, and there are much less chances that you will overeat these food items. Then there is something known as the color contrast strategy, in which the color of the food stuff should be different from the color of the plate. In this, you choose, for example, a red color plate with a light color fruit or something like that. Whenever there is high contrast, you notice your food too much and your attention will be more diverted towards your food, and the chances of overeating will be lesser. So try to choose a plate color which is different from the color of the food, because if you take a plate which is similar in color to the type of the food which you are eating, then there are high chances that you will not notice your food that much and you will overeat. So color contrast strategy also might be useful in reducing your food intake. Then you can choose to eat with the non-dominant hand. For example, if you are right-handed, you choose to eat from the left hand. If at all you are choosing to eat from the left hand, there are much higher chances that you will take much more time, you will enjoy your food much lesser, and because of this inconvenience, the chances of you overeating will be much less. Because if at all you are choosing to eat the food from the dominant hand, there are much high chances that you will eat much faster and overeating will be much more. So choosing to eat from the non-dominant hand might sometimes help you in preventing overeating. Then you can use red plates and utensils. There are some studies which have shown that if at all you are choosing red color plates and utensils, then it is sort of a red signal and your eating behavior is changed and you tend to eat much lesser from a food or a food plate or a dish which is in red in color. So red plates and utensils might be useful. Then you can practice the 20-minute rule strategy. It takes usually 20 minutes of time for the signal from the abdomen or the stomach to go to the brain that you are satisfied. So if at all you are choosing to chew your food very slowly and eating your food slowly over a period of 20 minutes, then there are much higher chances that your brain will have the satisfaction signal and you will stop overeating. So trying to delay taking of the food and eating food slowly will also give your brain the time to get the satiety signal from the abdomen and you will eat lesser. So delaying your food intake is also helpful in decreasing the amount of food intake. You should try to create a relaxing environment, because creating a relaxing environment while having food and keeping the stress at bay will also help you in reducing your food intake. So keeping a relaxing environment, watching or enjoying, talking to your friends and relatives might be sometimes helpful, but creating a calm environment is helpful in reducing your appetite. Whenever you are in too much amount of stress, there are high chances that you will overeat. So whenever you are taking your food, you can put on soft music or something like that which will help you in enjoying and creating a very pleasurable environment in the house. This will help you in concentrating more on your food and the chances of overeating will be lesser. In this video will be discussing this many tips only. There are a few more psychological tips which we'll be taking up in the next video. I hope that this video has brought you some knowledge and some insight into some psychological tips which will help you in preventing overeating. I hope that this video was useful. If at all you find this video useful, you can choose to watch more of our videos, share our videos, comment on our videos and like our videos.